Now, like some other verses, verse 11 comes up again later in the Bible in the New Testament, which is always a great help to us, preachers and Christians, as we read the Bible. If we can find verses coming up again in the New Testament, we can get a better handle on what they really mean for us today as Christians. And so we do find verse 11 again in 2 Corinthians 6. We're going to finish with these verses, actually. 2 Corinthians 6, verse 17. And that is found a little bit later than Romans. On page 1162. Page 1162, so on the right-hand side of the page, most of the way down, verse 17, with the word therefore, and this is where he uses the words from Isaiah, come out from them and be separate, says the Lord, touch no unclean thing, and I will receive you. That's pretty much a direct quote from Isaiah. It's on the right-hand side of page 1162. Now that doesn't mean, now this business of coming out and being separate from others in the world, from the world around you, doesn't mean you become a monk or a nun, or somehow take yourself out of the world, become a hermit. That's not the meaning. We know that. Jesus said, you must be in the world, but not of it. Right? So you are still in the world. But it does mean that as a Christian, you are different. Not in every way. You don't dress particularly differently from other people, but there are differences. You are different. You are distinctive. When we came across somebody on Friday. Distinctive, different. And so you separate yourself from the ways of the world, from the sins of the world, because you have been saved from Babylon, the system of evil called Babylon. And we need to ask ourselves, as God's holy people, if you are one of God's holy people, in other words, you're Christian, you follow Jesus, you are one of his holy people, and some things are appropriate for you and some things aren't. Are there things you need to come out of? Are there things you need to walk away from? Are there things you need to leave behind? Now, I'm not talking about marriages. If you're married to someone, even if they're an unbeliever, you've made a promise. You made a vow. And the Bible says you should keep that vow. But are there unclean things in your life that you need to come away from, to turn off, making you unclean in your heart and mind? Like a TV series you're binge watching, hooked into it, but you know it's not doing you much good. It's not very holy. A website you're visiting, a conversation on social media you might be having with somebody, a relationship you're pursuing, and you know it's not really something one of God's holy people should be doing.